pigment is on your brush. Water control is everything with, oh, yeah, no, that's okay. I'm going to darken this a little bit. And, you know, that's a lot of water on there. I'm going to leave it and let it dry because I'm going to do another layer. But I'd like a little more pigment on there. So I think if you wipe the water out of your brush and then you can go get a little more pigment and a little less water. I wanted it a little drier to do these nice little round shapes. And then I want to drop a really dark red into there. Let's see. And just kind of add a little shadow around here. And we're going to take it, fix that. There. And you can kind of drag it in if you have. That's going to give you a little shadow on the bottom of your tomato. Now we're going to do this, which, well, that makes me truly want to cry. I guess these tomatoes were painted while my camera was off, which is another rookie mistake, but we're going to continue onward, and I hope I didn't ruin this tomato. I went in, I'm not sure where the camera cut off, so I went in with these tomatoes with a light kind of wash with these, with this lighter orangey color, and then I dropped in some of the dark down at the bottom to give it this splotchy look. And I know I always have a hard time, you're supposed to like set it and forget it when you do these, but I always end up going back in and it kind of messes it up. But when to overwork watercolors, you kind of like the natural movement of things, but sometimes I see harsh lines that bother me and I kind of try to remove them a little bit. But so we're going in with this tomato. And what I was saying when I realized my camera was off was when I learned in my oil painting classes, my teacher had said on flowers and on like some fruits and vegetables, sometimes it helps to overemphasize the shape. So it may look like, you know, it's not that big of a bump out on a tomato or like a ruffle on a flower. But if you can overemphasize it, it's sometimes very helpful. It just helps relay what you're relaying. And now with this, I'm gonna drop in just a little dark at the bottom. We're kind of looking from above at the tomato. So I'm going to go in where I have these lines and deepen it with a darker color. And also near where the stem comes out, because that's going to cast a little shadow here under these leaves, or these little leaves that come out. So a little bit more down here. And if it's too dry like this is, you can kind of drag it out a little bit. Or I don't know if that's technically right or technically wrong, but okay. We're gonna leave that. That's a little harsh, but I'm liking that. Sometimes with my tomatoes, I'll go back in where the sun would shine and add like a touch of yellow, kind of brighten up this top area or areas that this area could use a little more orange. There we go. I like that. Okay. And let's see. We have a tomato down here. We're going to, I'm actually going to start with a yellow wash. Then I'm going to go in to the orange. Leave this one little leaf that's hanging out at the bottom. And this is one of those nice round tomatoes. I was gonna say a Jersey tomato, but there are so many different varieties. Let's see, boom. Like this, and like this. So this one is just nice and round. There are very few things, you know, that are perfectly round in nature, but my tomatoes this year have been one of them. They look pretty good. Now I'm going to just drop a little bit of dark. I'm not really liking that red. Let's see. I want a redder red. That's kind of a brick red. Let's do this. Oh, I like that better. Okay, and then you can kind of, and then I'm going to drop a little more orange in here. There. I'm going to leave that because tomatoes, they're rarely ever one color. Otherwise it would look flat. If you had just, you know, this tomato with no beautiful reds in it, you can even drop in a little red here. Definitely a little darker under here. There. So you get these striations in them. That looks good. Not sure. I guess if it looks like a tomato or a, let's go like this. Go over this with a little yellow. Probably should wait. Brighten up. I don't want to make it look too much like an orange. You want it to look like a tomato. Tomato's pretty. Go like this. Okay. The problem that I'm having is it looks kind of like an orange with the dots, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it and see how it dries. This to me looks more like a tomato. This has kind of an orange peel texture, maybe due to something I'm doing, maybe not. Okay, I'm going to leave that. And then we have some tomatoes here. I'm going to do, I'm going to dry this and just use, I don't want a super wet brush. Let's mix up a little more pigment. Okay. And some yellow. Yep, those are good. And my brush is a little too wet. I tell you, I started painting oil paints 15 years ago. I think I'm better at it. If I had to pick one that I feel like I have a better command of, watercolors are difficult. They're unpredictable. They're hard to control. I feel like there's a bigger learning curve. What I do like about them is that they're not as toxic. They don't have the potential toxicity of oils. The cleanup's easier because it's water you're not using. And I love oil paints, don't get me wrong. It's like one of my very favorite things. But I did have some health issues, and you know, I didn't know if it was from the Gamsol or, you know, then I switched to like a lavender spike oil, and it just, I love it. I still paint in oils, but less frequently. And I've, you know, offset it with a lot of watercolor. Also, watercolor paints are easier to travel with. You know, you don't have to, when you get to your destination, look for Terp or Gamsol because you can't fly with it. I mean, you can fly with watercolors, and when you get there, you have everything that you need, water and paints. So there are some benefits. There are benefits to either one. Okay, so that's the first pass through, and I think I've got a lot of red over here. I'm going to have no red over here. So I'm wondering, oh, there's a little tomato right here that we're going to, the gazpacho, this is a red. I was wondering if I wanted to introduce some red over here. And then the tomato juice, I did a little tomato. Oh, this is a little tomato. So there's a few little, okay, I'll leave that. I didn't want there to be no red over here. There we go. So I think that's good. Next, I think maybe we should get the big things in here and then finish up with the leaves and the, so the cucumber here, this is actually a really nice, ties in, it's what we used in the background. So we're gonna throw a dark green out here, and over here is gonna be a light green with even, no, that might not be too yellow. I have some Armenian cucumbers out there right now that are lighter, maybe a little more green. Okay, so we're going to do just the whole cucumber. You know, I could have used a bigger brush. I'm not going to. And I kind of like this. I know some people might think it's a mistake. Anyone who watches Bob Ross would know it's just a happy accident. So I'm gonna leave it. I love, that's the cicadas that we've got going on right now. Let's see. Now, should probably, could let it dry a little more to do the striations so they don't completely run. But I think, let's see, I'm going to give it a whirl. I kind of want it to run a little bit. Let's see, it may run into oblivion, and it may not. It's not super wet, the undercoat that I did. And I went off the edge there. Let's see. Go like this. And you know, sometimes the ends are a little more I like that. That looks very organic. I mean, it is organic. I have an organic garden, but I like it. Kind of go over the areas that are disappearing again, and then go up, do the next cucumber. Oops, I don't want to do plain water. I'm so used to with that wet on wet that I love. Let's see. We're going to do this, and we're going to add, we added a little yellow, a little more green. Okay, so we're going to do the next cucumber. And this year we had some phenomenal cucumbers in our garden. Last year was terrible. Probably my fault because I let them dry out in between, and you can't do that with cucumbers. They're very finicky. You also have to pick them a lot so that they produce more cucumbers. And if you don't, they die off sooner. But this year we had a great batch of them. I made sure I didn't let them dry out. And you don't want it to be perfect. You kind of want this, you know, if you saw the cucumbers that were downstairs on my counter, you would say, yeah, don't make a perfect. Those I have very rarely are my cucumbers completely round. I don't know. Might be the variety that I use, but you do get these big, pretty splotches. Let's see. Like that. Probably make this a little more round. Okay. I like it. I like it. Nice. Now we've got, maybe do the leaves. Winston, be quiet. It's almost comical the amount of noise that has happened today when I'm trying to tape this. Almost. Not really. It's very irritating. All right, we're going to mix some blue and kind of this light brown, maybe. And really, the blues and the browns, when you mix them, give you these real pretty grays. If you go too much towards the brown, here comes some more background noise with somebody taking a flying lesson. Okay, so that is a nice color for the pavers. We'll do the pavers next. And I love, actually, I should have let the spackle droplets stay in there, because rock texture, as you know, has like little dots and colors in it. So this will be nice. This one will be darker because I left the green there. Give it a nice different shade. Let's see, boink. I had loosely sketched some shapes. This I wanted to go all the way up. This is the fence wall there. This is going to be kind of a round paver. Then there should be a little one that comes right up to the gate here. It should be kind of straight there. And let's add a little brown and a little more blue. little darker. Let's see. Do I want to... this. Okay, those look like pavers to me. That one doesn't. That one's growing in a weird way, but that's, yeah. Do a little, since I have that color. Okay, and then we're gonna do, I had pavers over here that go to this fence line. Add a little bit, warm it up a little bit, water it down a little bit, and then go darker again, because, yeah, that's a little better. Okay, and this one, you know, here, you don't have to follow your design exactly. You know, you kind of sketch it in, get an idea of where you want things, so you get an overall composition before you start. Because I find if I don't do that, it's easy to lose sight of what you're doing, kind of lose your vision and mess it up. So big pavers here that go to this garden bed, and then I think I had a couple that go in between these. I like it with the light grass behind it. You know, it doesn't even, if I didn't want to add detail, which I might not want to, it looks nice. Okay, now I'm going to darken this a little and go back in with a couple dark splotches of gray. And these, you know, rocks you never see, hardly ever see unless it's polished. A rock that is one color. They've got all these beautiful beautiful variety of colors. I love the way that dried. Looks like rocks to me. I love the way this dried. Very nice. Oh, and there's one more rock I forgot that's going into this garden bed. All right. So there are the rocks. And last thing, we've got these really nice vines on the tomatoes, which are kind of, I'm going to start with a light color. This one I'm going to bring out here. And kind of connect these. Coming down to here and to here to here. And I was going to add a darker, I think it might be too wet. Okay, then I wanted actually a tomato leaf. I wanted to surround the whole thing with leaves, even though this cucumber is not going to have the same leaf or foliage as the tomato, but I don't really want to do big cucumber leaves. So I'm just gonna kind of get the general idea. I had these leaves coming down. These were pretty. It's hard to see sometimes after you start painting on something where your roadmap is. Okay, this goes all the way down to here. And this one I will darken. See if I'm going to come down. There we go. Let's see. These are a little dark, so I'm just going to kind of go down the one side, a little darker. So it gives it a little dimension. Okay, but it's supposed to come down here. Okay. And this is supposed to go, here's a nice leaf that goes off of there. So we've got where all these are running down to. Let's not let that stop right there. A lot of these tomato plants have these coming down with these little tiny leaves. So I know there were some tiny ones off of here that I have pencil marked in here. Okay. I like this. I'm liking some of the organic stuff that's in here. These organic shapes. Okay, so let's at least get the leaves started off of these. This one didn't have a leaf, but I think I might do one because the text is all over here. So tomato leaves are kind of rough and they go up to this nice point, but they also have these little pieces coming off of them. There. And I think, boink. Mental note to self, do not let dog in next time you're taping. I can hear him over there. I like that. This one, let's do a light green leaf here. Let's see, I had a couple of big leaves. And again, you kind of have the shape from your pencil marks, and you can just kind of loosely follow it. There. Okay, and because you know when I'm done with this particular one, I'm going to go around it with my Micron pen. So it doesn't, you know, you can paint them any way you want to. There are some painters that are amazing that do great detail that I just love to watch. And then there are the sketcher, you know, the urban sketchers that are much more loose. It doesn't have to be super detailed. Oh, my dogs, I can't even. Okay, so one other thing that I did want to get was, I don't think I want, there was a flat tomato here. I don't like it. I'm going to go down here like this, through here, like this, and then we've got the little, they've got, you know, those spazzy leaves that go like this. We're going to do dark in there. I like that. Like that. and dark, 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 dark. And another leaf up here. Let's see. Yep. And they have the little dinky leaves down here below it. Boink, boink. I love my sound effects. Boink, boink. Okay. All right. I am liking this very much. It's pretty basic. So we're gonna let it dry. Maybe even we'll hit it with the blow dryer. And then I'm gonna fill in some of the pen details. Let's see. Okay, now I have a number 8 micron pen, which is pretty thick here. This is enormous. Here are my other. We have, this is blue, and this is a 2. Okay, see the difference? This one is very thin, and this one is very thick. I am gonna start with the thin, well, I'm gonna do, well, let's see. I was going to do the fence, not solid. I think, I forgot. What I wanted to do was put this fence in, and I had a little flat brush. Here it is. Here's what I wanted to do. I wanted this to be looking like you were looking down at a fence. I'm just gonna throw this in here, and I'm gonna offset that with a touch of blue to kind of knock it back. It's a little bright. That's a little more redwood-y color. Yeah, I like that. And I should have mixed more. We're gonna do, maybe not, the top of the fence posts, which are like a diamond, if you're looking down on them, are in each of the corners here. Boop. And boop. Okay. I wanted one on the corners of the bruschetta. Let's see, here was this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and tomato juice up here. 1, that one's in the wrong spot. 2, 3, 4. Looks like I taped over those, but those are, so those are looking down on the top of my diagonal fence posts. And then I wanted to add just little, put a little more paint on there. I don't know if I'm gonna draw around these with my pen or if I'm just going to, right. Okay, I should have done that a little better. Okay, so now if you're looking down, actually should, there would be a fence below it. I guess I can do the line between it with my pen. Boop. And I'm just gonna, I just thought the design would look nice. They should probably be a little closer together, but that's okay. This is your world, right? Do a half fence post there. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3. My head is probably in the frame on that. And boom, boom, boom. And down here. I like it. Okay. Oh, and where does it come in? Comes in here, which is, this is the, like the arbor, the gate opening. I'm gonna go like that. I was gonna put some flowers on it, but I'm just gonna leave it like that. And I'm also gonna do this fence right here like this. And then you know, everything doesn't have to be just like in any painting. Some people are very precise and perfect. I like mine to feel a little more loose, not sloppy, but sometimes that happens. But for things like my sketchbook that are not finished paintings that I'm giving to someone, I really like there to be some spontaneity and even some mistakes. I mean, I don't like there to be mistakes, but if there are, sketchbooks, and that's a little wet. I'll do a smaller gate here. Sketchbooks are a good place to practice. I'm going to demonstrate right now how to mess up a painting. A good place to practice things. I mean, cookbooks are not, but like I said, this is a cookbook for my girls, but because it's in a sketchbook, I expect it to be kind of like the things I do in a sketchbook. Look like, you know, the more relaxed type of paintings that you see in sketchbooks. All right. I like it. Now we're going to take the small pen and kind of go over. You don't have to go over everything, but I think it adds such a nice touch when you go over. Boop. You can add the little end part of the cucumber, and you can, if you want, you don't want a solid line going over all of these, but this, maybe these 3. Should have a contest to see how many distracting noises you hear in this video. It's a lot. All right, I like that. So here's the cucumber without it. Here it is, you know, with the ink detail around it. It's really personal preference. I'm gonna try not to colossally mess this up. And we're gonna go like this. And this to me is a great deal of fun to go over the, we'll just do the 3 lines like this. Oop. Okay, oops, I forgot the green in the tomato, but it doesn't matter because you can paint before, you can paint after. With these pens, they're phenomenal. This, I'll fill that in. So now I'll go back in with some green when I'm done kind of sketching around here. Here's a leaf that I forgot. But, you know, you can add these little details. I do like with this. I'm going to go around. And then this. I like that. It adds a lot of detail without having to layer in with your paints. Okay, now these, boop. And, you know, you can go over these. It doesn't have to completely match, but I really like the shapes of those. Boop, 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 boop. And you know, I think I forgot. Go back over that with some green. Now these rocks, these are great. Fun to go around the perimeter. To really define those. I like that. Let's see, I'll do this one. Maybe even make it like you can see. Okay, this is the top of the arbor. So we're gonna go like this. There. And I think I'm just gonna go over the corners and let's see. Oop, that one ran. Can get in between the fence posts or not. I don't know if I like that. I don't hate it, but okay. Let me see. this is one rock. This one looks like it already has a nice outline around it, but it doesn't hurt to go over it again. I don't think I like the lines between, so I'm just going to leave it the way that it is around there with the fence posts. And then I like to lightly, I like to place the words so that I see how they look in the composition. I have messed up more things with not sloppy lettering or writing, but incorrectly placed writing. So that's one thing. I don't always draw out everything, but I try to get an idea of the placement. All right, so we've got that. Now, I do want to go around my tomatoes. Believe it or not, I just want them to be a little more defined. And I'm wondering if I should use my thicker pen, but I think this will do. This one was supposed to have these coming out of here because it's a top view. And I forgot my little leaves in here too, which are kind of there. This one we'll just do like one. Go around the tomato. This one also had boom. Right, now this, let's see, I had, this was gonna come over here. Okay, and this, I can't tell now if this was a leaf. I think it was. Because these are big. But this tomato is obviously bigger and closer to you. So I'm just going to take my little brush that I was using and see if I found some green. I'm going to do this. Okay. And then a very dark little drop in the middle. Because you want a little bit of variation. There. Let's see. This under here would be a little darker. And you do not have to stay inside the lines when you have these, in fact, I missed the lines there. You don't have to stay inside the lines when you do this sketchy type of drawing. Okay, and we missed this. I'm gonna do maybe mix in a little green. This should reach there. Oh, we missed one here. These. All right. Okay. Now, the last thing is, I'm gonna fill in a little of these. And the letters here.
Now we're going to finish.
Okay, so I'm going to speed it up here while I'm filling in with the micron pen over the 3 recipes. I sketched it lightly in pencil so that I knew that it was centered and in the right spot, and then I went over it with the micron. That is truly the easiest way to do it. I've messed it up so many times having it be too high or too low or not in the middle, so really take the time to do that when you're doing something like a cookbook or something where you want it to look kind of nice. So that's it.
This might be boring for painters to watch. You can always fast forward. I think if you're someone like me who actually loves bullet journaling too, I find it really meditative to sit and watch people fill in their bullet journals. I know it's a little weird, but there are a lot of people who have great channels on bullet journaling, and they actually go through the trouble of penciling it all in on video, and then from start to finish do all of this. Mine is a little more painter related, so I don't plan on showing a lot of penciling or a lot of filling in with the pen. I will probably fast forward the tape on this when I remove my talking when I'm done with the whole thing. Boy, lettering doesn't seem to take long when you're doing it, but when you're going over it, it does seem to take long. Uh-oh, stalks. I misspelled that. am pretty happy with this entry in the cookbook. Again, if any of you paint or journal or have any idea how I can make this less absorbent, because I don't want it to, so if anybody's going to use this in the kitchen, you don't want it to, I don't think that has a D in it. And there's my dog. Unbelievable, the noises in this video. I can't even. This one, just to mix it up, I did capital letters. I did cursive everywhere else, but I got, kind of mix it up a little bit on the page. But yeah, I'm not unhappy with this. It'll be interesting to see how this cookbook evolves. And hopefully it'll all flow together nicely. I'm going to use the same, try to keep kind of a limited palette so that there's some cohesiveness in the colors throughout the book. I don't want it to feel disjointed. I don't usually work on projects this big. I'll paint, it's like a one and done type, do a painting, move on to the next one. And so I think it would be important with something like this to have, uniformity throughout so that it flows like nicely. And getting close to the end. I wonder what loud noise is going to happen before I'm done. Try not to get sloppy at the end like I am. Let's see, try to straighten this up a little bit. My hand is cramping from all of the writing. There we go. Now, I wonder, should I throw a color in on these? Like, maybe I want to splatter, because I kind of like the way this looks. You can really screw up splattering like red.
Because it can look like blood splatters. But I think if I do like an orange, maybe, let's see, still kind of, I think I might do a little, let's see, boom, boom, just do, oh, I kind of am liking that, because it kind of could look like big cherry tomatoes. Wonder if I should do a little more yellow, because I don't really have any yellow pear tomatoes on this page, but yeah, I think that adds. That's kind of a nice. Let me know in the comments if you think it looks like tomatoes or not, or a crime scene. I don't know. I kind of like it. You have to be very careful with. But being that we have like the cherry tomatoes here, maybe I'll do, I don't think I want to do any splatters with the dark green. That might, I kind of actually like what's going on. So I think I'm just going to leave it. Maybe I'll take this and just kind of blend it. There, I like that a little better. Blend in some of the smaller ones. Like this, and blend that. Oh, there. I don't know. I think I like that. Kind of. Huh. Okay. Well, that's it. That is my cookbook entry. Just realized I missed this line. That's a little annoying. That is my cookbook entry for the end of August, almost the beginning of fall. I'm really excited about the fall entries because I have a lot of yummy food that I cook in the fall. And, but this is it. So had a ton of tomatoes from my garden, put together this cookbook page for my girls, who again probably won't see me on YouTube, and I look forward to doing this again. It was a lot of fun. We will I'll be back here next week. Again, click like and subscribe if you would like to be notified of the upcoming video of the next recipe that I'm doing. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.